You
Yeah.
can be terrified and shit your pants and do the thing.
Even if this guy agrees with us or sees value in
Hmm.
what we're saying, probably a lot of the people he's trying to date don't.
I know I'm right. As a
Hmm.
scientist, I know
It's
I'm
science,
correct.
banter, humor, charisma, vibes.
Most people
Yes.
don't have charisma. Most people don't.
Not afraid of your eyes now. Behold, behold.
Behold. Welcome back. We missed you. And by we, I mean two unaccredited scientists
Hmm.
who are trying to, we're just trying to survive out here.
Trying to get that Nobel Peace Prize. Am I right? Like, we're trying to get,
Peace?
yeah, I don't know if it's peace, Nobel Prize for something, for
Nobel,
our
Nobel
science.
War Prize.
Oh, is that one of
Oh,
them?
a Peace
Yeah,
Prize for
Nobel
science?
Fighting Prize.
Okay, so here is, okay, actually, maybe we should talk about Nobel Prizes later.
Talk about it now. Get to just tell me what you're saying right now.
Well, sometimes I do mix up, like, there's a Nobel Prize for science, but the
Yes,
peace
but
one is
then there's a
totally
peace.
separate.
It's
I
different,
don't
but
think the
why are they
Peace
both
Prize, I don't think the,
Nobel?
I think
Who's
it has to
Nobel?
do, who's Nobel? I'm sure it's someone.
Nobel Prize. I don't
Isn't
know.
it out of a
Whatever.
certain country? Okay.
We
Okay,
want
well, we're
to
not
be
candidates this
awarded.
year. Yeah, we would love to be nominated. I'm actually honored to be nominated.
I would love to be considered.
I would love to be considered just so I can graciously turn it down because I'm really not about trophies and prizes.
Totally. It's all
You
about
know?
peace for me. That's why I
It's
even
all
brought
about
that up.
peace. Give
It's
me
just
more
about peace.
peace. If
Yeah,
you want to really reward me, give me a little more peace. You know what I
that's
mean?
what I'd like. Give me a
Here's the
piece of that what to
first.
do.
Here's the first what to do. So this is written in by one of our listeners. They say, "Hello. I'm a proud member of Caroline's 20% male audience and now probably like 0.2% male audience for not for everyone. Haha. Cool. The dating episodes are quite helpful and I really appreciate how considered your guys' takes are. But I think my situation is a bit is a bit
Pacific.
specific, a bit Pacific, and would appreciate your thoughts. I'm 23, straight, and live in San Francisco. Although I feel I live a pretty fulfilling life overall with strong friendships, family, hobbies, career, etc., I've never been on a date, let alone been in a relationship. I've tried meeting people in real life, but I can never tell if they'd be interested, and it never really felt acceptable to ask them out. The handful of times I have asked someone, I've misread the situation. As the youth say, my riz is cooked. He does say, I'm going to paraphrase here, that he's interested in trying the dating apps, which I think is great. But we have talked about that quite a bit in episodes. So I want to jump to another, I think, really relatable issue he brings up. He says, when I actually land a date, I'm not sure how to be a good date. How is it distinct from merely a friendly chat? I think being awkward would be a given for me. So I worry it would make the conversation tepid. Would it be helpful to share that I'm new to dating? Maybe it's unhealthy to think this way, but I feel if I've gone this long without dating or feeling a sense of attraction from anyone, there could be something I still need to work on that I haven't noticed. I don't know if there are any strategies to this. I'm guessing a lot of it is about having the right mindset. What to do when you are a shy introvert, as he self describes, and you're concerned you're going to be awkward on that first date?
Um, yeah, what to do? It like kind of broke my heart when you read the part where he said, How do I be a good date or something?" I was like, "Oh, like even the fact that you're wanting to be a good date and thinking about this, particularly as a straight man, I just don't know that there's a ton of straight men who are like, I want to be a good date. I feel like a lot of them assume they are or whatever. It just
Oh,
tells me that you're a thoughtful, like introspective, sweet person. So I don't know. I also struggled with the whole figuring out like, is this friendly? Is this flirty? How to flirt, how to show interest. Like that's something that I never nailed in my dating life. Still haven't
mm.
nailed in a 4-year relationship. Like I'm just
You
I'm
don't know if you guys are, you don't know if it's romantic or not yet.
I don't know the status. I don't know if he likes me. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know where to start with this. Do you have good tips for just showing up on a
Oh,
date and being Being a charmer?
Being a charmer, I don't, well, that's the thing is I think you don't have to be a charmer
Yeah.
to end up finding connection. And I think the idea that you do need to be that way. Like, of course, charisma is going to be a really helpful talent and skill in dating. Of course it is. And I bet if you have like a ton of riz, which he says maybe it's cooked, maybe yes. If you have a ton of riz, that is super helpful in a lot of situations. It probably would be easier, but I also don't think that it's exclusionary. I think one thing that starts getting paralyzing and disabling and really discouraging is when you're picturing dating and you're picturing that everybody else
Yeah.
is really charismatic and everybody else only ever talks to charismatic people. Whereas the reality is that, like, we're reading this Whatado because it's relatable. Most people, or like, there's a lot of people out there who are not going to be weirded out by talking to someone else who's also a little awkward because they're also probably a little awkward. I think it helps sometimes to not focus on this like anonymous, faceless crowd of dates you might go on. Because when I pictured those people, they were always really harsh and really
Yeah.
cruel and had standards that are like not really human. But if I picture people more like my own friends, the way you've probably made friends with some other introverted, shy, awkward people. You managed to do that. And, having a lot of riz also makes making friends easier, but that hasn't been prohibitive to you. So I think just like the biggest thing um that genuinely I felt like I had to realize and remember was that, like, I'm not the only one who is nervous and also not the only one who's awkward. And if you get on a date with someone who's like there with the right intentions and putting their heart forward and is like generous and patient the way that this listener is, like, I want to be a good date. I want to hear feedback about myself if there's something I need to work on I haven't noticed yet. Like, that's such self-awareness. I want to
Yeah.
learn more about myself. I want to see how I can show up the best way. You probably want to find somebody else like that, and somebody else like that won't just be writing you off because you're a little bit awkward. And the people who I think will write you off for being a little bit awkward, they're just I really believe that they're not a match for you.
Hmm.
But there's more people out there who have patience for awkwardness than I think you are telling yourself. And yeah, it's just like it is most people, especially on a first date.
First dates are awkward. It's just part of the deal. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Like, and I think most people would agree with that statement. And therefore, most people have some spectrum of leniency around a first date being awkward. Like, they assume probably that some of it is them. Even if you feel like you're the one being awkward, probably the other person feels a little bit of that awkwardness coming from themselves too. Like, it's a brand new person that you've not interacted with, and there's certain rhythms to conversation, there's certain rhythms to how people speak and pause and laugh. And if you're trying to feel that out with a new person, particularly somebody from dating apps who like you truly have no previous context on, then it is awkward to figure that out. Like, it takes a few tries and it takes time together to even understand like how to have a conversation, let alone how to have a conversation that feels connective and like there's interest and romantic connection there. And so I don't know. I just think the more people date, the more they learn that and the more that they figure out like,
Yeah.
yeah, this is just awkward and it takes time and I'm probably being awkward. The other person probably feels awkward. Like, it's just part of the deal. And if I like them enough, I'll give them another chance. And I actually feel like it's the people who don't have the experience with dating who tell themselves the story that everybody else knows how to do this except
Everyone
me.
else is being chill and like pretty suave out there.
Right. And the
But you'll just
reality,
find it's not true.
I think the reality is that people who have more experience with dating just learn that it's really awkward and build the tolerance for that, like build the
Yeah.
muscle
Yeah,
for
it's a
that.
tolerance. Yeah.
And so you do kind of have to just put yourself out there and build the muscle the same way that these other people that you're imagining have, believe it or not, built the muscle. Like they
Yeah.
will be okay, or a large majority of them will be okay, or the ones who are going to be a good fit for you will definitely be okay with some fumbling, with some awkwardness, with some, I'm not sure what to bring up next. There's an awkward pause, like it's a new person.
Yeah.
I also think there are some people who, like, everybody shows up differently. Even though I felt awkward on first dates and I accepted that first dates would just be awkward, my approach to that based on my personality was like, I'm going to talk a lot. I'm going to tell stories. I'm going to try to make them laugh. I'm going to fill the air. Maybe too much, but then I ended up on a date with my now boyfriend who is awkward or quiet, like a little bit more reserved, a lot more reserved, to be honest. And I was doing that thing where I filled the air and filled the room and was trying to smooth over the awkwardness. And it worked for somebody like him. He was like, "Oh, I like that she's talking a lot and taking control and making me laugh, and it's making me more comfortable." And then the second date, he opened up a lot more. And I had the tolerance where I would go on a second date with somebody like that. So I don't know if I'm saying anything coherent. I think it's just like
Yeah.
building the tolerance and practicing and like accepting that there's going to be a necessary level of awkwardness, and most normal, kind people who you would want to be on a date with anyway get that too.
Yeah. Yeah. I think something I think about all the time is like my dad would always say the phrase like there's someone for everyone.
Mm,
And and I really do believe that. And I think of that most when I hear someone say whether they're commenting about themselves or someone else they know and kind of implying that they're too weird or they're too strange or they're too quiet or they're too loud or they're too hyper or they're too obnoxious or they're too artsy or they're too gregarious, whatever the thing is, that they're too something to like find a match and no one else will really get it. But it's not only like the prom king and queen type
yeah.
characters who end up in relationships. I know tons of it's like other people just as much. I know the super shy, super quiet, mousy people who find their people. And I know the nerds who find their nerds, and I know the gamers who find their gamers. And this idea that like everyone else out there is only looking for like this high ris, gregarious
Mm,
entertainer type, it's not accurate at all. But it is a really good way to build up anxiety for yourself and to tell you that it's not worth trying. Yeah, I just think the same way you make friends who are like appreciate your speed, it's possible to find someone romantically who will appreciate your speed. And it and made me think of I don't know. He also asked, like, what's the difference between a first date and just like a friendly chat? And my thought is like nothing.
hmm
I think it's just a friendly chat. And if anything, it kind of feels a little unavoidably like an interview. You have no foundation of rapport. All you have, like, maybe you get to have a little bit of patter back and forth. But Jess and I have both said that we're actually kind of wary of that. Having like
hmm
too much banter back and forth just really means I don't think it means much. It might means you have a similar style of humor and it might mean you have a similar level of charisma, but that's not the same as being a good match. For example, and I'm curious to hear what you think of your and Ryan's initial dynamic, but Justin and I would say now all we do is talk, all we do is gab. We 100% can like finish each other's jokes and riff and banter, and language is like a huge way that we connect, which is not there's lots of different ways to connect as a couple, but for us it's definitely in like comedy and jokes and language and talking. and it was not on our first date. It was awkward. We did not get into a groove of banter, really. We had thoughtful, deep conversation, but it was not banter. And there were laughs shared, but it ultimately felt a little bit like a polite, attentive interview, which to me is very draining. And so that's why, like, first date, I would cap it at like one drink, 90 minutes, something like that. Whatever you can do that's not offensive. And actually, I think I did worry Justin a little bit when I like left after one drink. He thought maybe I wasn't interested anymore, but like he found out later when I followed up and was genuine about wanting to see him again. But it is kind of just an interview. And I think the best thing you can do if you don't have a lot of charisma or you have just decided you don't have a lot of charisma, there's other ways to be singular. It doesn't just have to be charisma. I think you can be really singular by like actually listening to what someone
Hmm.
says and having thoughtful questions. Not just questions to like perform, look, I know how to ask questions, but like when you listen to what they say, what do you actually want to know more about? What actually makes you curious? Even if you're like, they talked about their hobby playing Magic the Gathering, and I don't think I care about that at all. But what's something that you would be interested to learn? Like what does Magic the Gathering do for you? Like why is this so, you know, um why is this such like a match for your soul? Like I love learning that about different people's hobbies. I don't have to like the hobby or agree with their hobby, but I like hearing like what it does for them. And if you can like I don't know, find the thing that you are actually kind of singularly good at, like I really make people feel heard or I do really like trying to just like understand exactly what they're explaining to me about their childhood or whatever, that can stand out easily because it's really rare. It doesn't
Hmm.
have to just be charisma.
Yeah, I very much agree with everything you said. I think something that dawned on me while you were talking is to remember that this guy is 23
Mm,
and I now in my 30s know that having banter on a date or having charisma or seeing
yeah.
charisma in the other person isn't everything. And I would say that when I was 23, 24, dating 23, 24-year-old men, I was like
All
obsessed with
about charisma.
charisma.
Do you know most people, even people our age who have dated a lot or whatever, most people don't necessarily think we're right. I know I'm right. As a
Hmm.
scientist, I know
It's
I'm correct.
science.
I actually think banter and charisma and like vibes, we were vibing so good on the first date.
Yep.
Anytime I have experienced that, or a friend or family member has told me they experienced that, and of course, you're so wrapped up, you're so into it, it's so good. I've never seen it continue into a
Pan out.
relationship.
Yeah,
Never, ever, not once. I
I
think it is
totally
bad.
agree. I
It's
think
just
it's
two
a red
people, two
flag.
charismatic people. Yeah.
Yeah, I do think it's a red flag 9 times out of 10. But I
Mm-hmm.
also know that in your 20s and when you're new to dating and everybody in the dating pool, men, women, and the inputs you're getting are from the media, from social media, from TV and movies and whatever else, from the way that people in college and people in their 20s even talk about things and joke about things and whatever. All of the inputs put so much emphasis on banter, humor, charisma, vibes. We stayed up till 3 in the morning talking. We went to like 5 different bars, like la 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 la. And I was also a sucker for it for a really long time until I wasn't, until something dawned on me of like, oh, that always fizzles out. That doesn't always mean there's deeper connection or a deeper bond there. That doesn't always, it actually usually doesn't mean that for me. So I just want to call that out because I feel like some of our advice is a little older, is a little more mature, is a little more like stuff that you end up learning. And I think it's great for people who are younger to have that in mind and to
Mm.
approach dating in this way. But I also
Okay, fair.
recognize that even if this guy agrees with us or sees value in
Mm-hmm.
what we're saying, probably a lot of the people he's trying to date don't and aren't
He's just
there
gonna
yet.
want charisma and yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so it doesn't mean he's not going to find his person. I totally believe he's going to find his person, but I think it could take a little longer if you are wanting to go into the dating pool, obviously being yourself and being a little more genuine
Yeah.
and looking for somebody who appreciates that at your age. And so I think some of it is just like accepting that, I don't know, it might take longer and just getting out there and getting practice is kind of like part of getting there.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
I don't know. It's not very, I don't think what I'm saying is comforting necessarily. It's just honest. And there's a level of acceptance, I think, that's required for somebody who's a little more reserved or a little more mature or a little more hesitant or something that, like, yeah, I'm going to have a different run at this than maybe some of my peers. It doesn't mean it's worse. It's actually probably better in the long run. You're probably going to find real connection sooner by being that type of person, but sooner than your peers, but it will feel long for you because they're all going to have these like little flings and bantery, sparky things. And you're going to be like, why is that not happening for me? And it's, it's just like, I don't know. It's a thing that's prioritized at that age. So
It
I don't know
might
what I'm
be.
saying. I just
Yeah,
think, yeah, I don't
I
want to
see what
come
you're
across
saying.
like the, you know, the old lady that's like, yeah, I found my person because I was patient. And then it's like, 23-year-olds aren't patient.
Well, you know
23-year-olds
what?
want charisma. 23-year-olds
Totally.
want spark. Yeah.
I know. I just also think that like it's possible to like go on good dates without charisma. Like most people
Yes.
don't have charisma. Most people don't.
They're
If
faking it.
if the majority of people had charisma, it wouldn't really be notable in that way. It'd be like, well,
That's
that's just
true.
the way humans talk. Like most people don't have charisma. Like a good amount do, but also, can I just say 23 is not like weirdly late to not have been on a date? Because
No.
think about like people
Same.
graduate college, assuming you went to college 21 or 22, and or even if you didn't go to college, most people around that age that you're trying to date don't go on dates. It's hookup culture and it's hanging out and it's whatever. Um I think a lot of people haven't been on a date by 23. I was
I
here
hadn't.
you no. I only had because I was on, don't want to brag. I was on OK Cupid as early as 2010.
Whoa.
Girl,
Fresh out
people were not doing it then, but I was uh
when you were in New York or in
yeah, I was in
Italy?
college. I was in
Yeah.
my freshman year of college. I was on dating apps. I was on OK Cupid in 2010. It was 80 years ago, and nobody else was doing that, but I was in there. I was only going to school with like gay men, and I couldn't keep hooking up with them. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was trying to meet
Keep hooking
straight
up with them.
ones. I couldn't keep doing it.
Keep turning them. There's only so
Yeah.
many that'll turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of dating apps and online dating and stuff, and this person did say like he wants to lean into that a little bit more. I do think something that I used to find really helpful about online dating, and I've said this before, is that the precedent is known, like the context is known that we're on a date,
We're all here for dating.
which is
Yeah.
something that I struggled with when just like in college, having a crush on somebody,
Yeah.
not knowing, is this flirty? Is it friendship? Do they feel something for me? Do they not? Like it is helpful to meet people in a dating app context and just know that when we meet up, this is romantic. This is that we're finding out if there's a romantic thing here.
Hmm.
So I do think that could help for this person and just like take that burden and that pressure off of needing to decipher whether the other person feels something or not. Because, I mean, you don't know if they feel something, but whether they're there for
You're not wrong for
romance,
trying. You're not wrong
right,
for showing up on that date and like
right, and thinking it's
wanting
a
to see
date.
if someone's interested. Also, you're not wrong for, he said he asked people out once or twice or like approached them or something once or twice in person and misread the situation. You're not wrong for that either. Like
Hmm.
we're all going to misread things sometimes. It's called shooting your shot. The only time you're ever wrong for it is if it's like you you get new information like, oh, this person isn't interested, and then you disregard it and you keep going anyway. But like you're not a bad man for like hoping a girl is interested and then they're not. That's not bad. And I
Yeah.
don't I hope no one's like shaming you for that. It's like you're doing a great job by rolling the dice sometimes and taking a risk. And I think that's like the mindset I would have. Well, actually, the mindset I would have with dating if I was super nervous, which I was, and I did this, I don't know, I employed this mindset with a lot of things. Um, but particularly when it was something I was just determined I was bad at, whether that's true or not. If you're determined you're bad at it, if you're determined you're bad at dates or first dates or whatever narrative you want to tell yourself, then yeah, do what Jess said and start like getting in your reps and just go into it. It's like you're conducting a science experiment. We're all scientists here. It's safe to say you're conducting a science experiment. You're going to see, it's almost like you take away any expectation that you're going to have a second date with these people.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go on like 10 first dates and I'm going to try one. I'm going to do this approach. On a second, I'm going to do that approach. On a third, I'm going to do that approach. And the great news is there is nothing to lose because you don't know these people and there is zero investment. So if you approach it like with just a slight adjustment to your intention, that the intention now on this first date is not to like lock it down and make it a wife, but the intention is to learn more about myself on first dates and like build up some calluses and build up some experience and try some stuff, then there's not really any risk.
Hmm.
And you have nothing to lose except like a little bit of time investment. And that's not nothing. Like if you're going on a date every night of the week, it can get draining. It can also get expensive. It can be expensive on your schedule, whatever, too. And so that's when I would take a break. If I'm starting to feel like even it's not worth my time, then I would take a break and step away and go do the other things that are fulfilling in your life. But when you have the, you know, emotional space to conduct some experiments, it's just like going into a video game. Like, we're not here to force these people to like you. You're there to learn a little bit about someone, learn a lot about yourself, treat someone respectfully, pay attention to how they make you feel. And then we walk away with some data at the
Hmm.
end of the night.
Yeah. I do think practicing is really important. And I think part of practicing is taking the expectation off, like you said. I was big on, I kind of realized after dating for a little while, like the question of what are you looking for was a strange one to me because I was newish to dating. I didn't go on a first date until I was 23. I didn't have a boyfriend until I was 24. I didn't have sex till I was 21. Like I was always a late bloomer in all these different things. And so I felt like I don't really have practice. Sure, yeah, one day I want to get married. One day I want to, have my forever person. But I don't really know if that's what I want with you sitting across from me from this table right now.
Yeah,
And
that's so
so
true.
I had a like moment of clarity in my late 20s when I was out of my first relationship and dating again of like why do I need to go into dating with a defined outcome from the start? Why do I need to say I'm looking for my husband or I'm looking for a boyfriend, I'm looking for a relationship, I'm looking for a hookup, whatever. I don't know what I'm looking for because I need to meet the person and see what I want with them or and what I don't. And I don't know if that works for everyone, but it really worked for me because it removed some of the pressure of going into a first date and needing to decipher like could I see
Interesting.
forever with you? Do
Yeah.
I want all it was do I want to see you again? And
Yeah,
then
yeah,
after
yeah.
the second date, do I want to see you again? And then you start to form an opinion of someone, you start to feel whatever you feel about them and you think what do I have space for in my life right now? What do I want? Do I want a relationship? Do I not? Do I want to hook up with somebody? Do I not? Like, whatever it is for you, that will kind of become clear as you spend more time with someone and just feel it out each date. And so I don't know. For what it's worth, for me, I went on first dates with no defined, like, if this guy can't be my husband, then it's a no. Like I don't know. It wasn't even on my radar. The husband wasn't even on my radar. It was just, let's see what this date is like. And that helped me a lot.
Yeah,
Um,
that is good.
I think it's I think we can put a lot of pressure on ourselves to like just need to know right away. And I think we assume that other people are doing that too. And I don't know. It's just not, it's never served me. So take that pressure off of yourself, get some practice, meet some people, just meet some people. Go on the friendly coffee date and treat it like a friendly coffee. Like just
Yeah.
ask questions, just talk to them. And if
Well,
you
what do you
feel a vibe, you feel a vibe, you know?
what
If
do
you want
you
to see
have
them
to
again, you do.
lose?
Yeah.
Like truly, what do you have to lose? I you are lying to yourself and you're lying to me if you're telling me you have something to lose by just like going on a handful of first dates and just being like, I'm curious to see how I'll show up. I'm curious to see maybe I'll bomb. Okay, we'll never see you again. Doesn't matter. Like, I'm not saying doesn't matter, like go and treat these people less than human.
No.
But it's like if you decide you bombed your performance, doesn't matter. It's fine. It's okay. And and I'm sure like anyone who feels this level of fear and anxiety, when I say like you have nothing to lose and you're trying to come up with ways to get out of it. You're trying to come up with ways, but actually, no, but actually. And actually, when you go and do that thing that is so terrifying, admittedly terrifying, I'm not going to say you're not going to be terrified, but you don't really have anything to lose. And it actually could be very good for you to do something terrifying rather than continually avoiding the thing that scares you and continually reinforcing to yourself that you are only safe and you are only okay if you avoid that thing. That's not
Hmm.
good feedback. If you go and pursue the thing you're afraid of instead, you are going to feel such a high. Maybe not on the date, maybe not immediately after, because yeah, it could be awkward. But like a week later, you can sit there and be like, I was given one life on this earth and I pursued something that scares the shit out of me, but that could also hold a lot of new opportunity for me. And I did it anyway. I did it even though it scared me. There's a great movie called Defending Your Life that is like, who is it? Meryl Streep is in it. It's like in the
Mm.
80s. And maybe I can never remember if it's Al Brooks or Mel Brooks, but it holds up. It's very worth a watch. And it's all about this guy who dies and he goes to like a sort of purgatory and he meets Meryl Streep there and she's not Meryl Streep, she's some other character. And they're both dead. And in this version of purgatory, in order to move on to heaven, you have to go before a judge and defend your life. And what was so like earth shattering to me about this movie was the framework for how they judge a life. And me coming from like a very Catholic upbringing, there's very defined like good and bad morality and like were you martyric and did you sacrifice and did you bleed for others and like did you put yourself last and blah blah blah. And I kind of just like always took that for granted as like the only as like the ultimate value in life, but that doesn't there's like none of these like kind of Christian um values so explicitly in the film. It's more about like, were you courageous? Did you do things that scared you? Or did you cower every time something made you nervous? And it's just entirely about taking leaps and pursuing things,
I want to watch
even
that.
though it scares you. That is like what gets you into this version of heaven. Um, and I just thought it was so interesting. When I first saw the movie, it kind of just like blew my mind to think like, oh, there's so many other ways of measuring like a life well lived. And this is a pretty secular one, but in years since seeing it, I agree with more and more of it. Like, I still don't really know what is the point of a life. I don't know what the point is, but I feel more and more that like doing things that scare me, as long as they don't hurt other people, is really important and is like a really good use of
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. I first of all totally agree with that from a value standpoint. I want to
Hmm.
watch that movie. It's Al
It's
Brooks. I
really
looked it
good.
up.
I think you would love it. Mel
I think
Brooks.
I would
Okay.
love it. It reminds me a little bit of The Good Place, which is one of the best TV shows in my opinion, which kind of talks about that like morality and what gets you into heaven philosophy. But it's from a comedic standpoint. I'm going to watch that and report back. But something else I was thinking about with this DM that I think is relevant is that he asked, should I bring up on these dates that I have less experience?
Mm,
And what I would say to you is if that feels comfortable, sure. You know what I mean? I think that there's a tendency when you haven't done something before, when you haven't done it very much, when it's scary to you, when it's uncomfortable to you, to want to like plan ahead and know like this is my talk track. I'm going to bring this up. I'm going to get ahead of
truth.
this. I'm going to show up in this
Truth.
way. And I feel like you don't, in the same way that I was talking about, like, you don't know what you want with a specific person until you meet them. You don't know if that's your husband until you spend time, whatever. Um, you don't know before going on a date if it's going to feel comfortable to you to say, hey, this is new to me. Hey, I haven't done this before. Like,
Gotta read the
I
situation.
feel a little awkward, whatever. I personally, we've talked about this. Like, I love a breaking the fourth wall moment. Ryan and I did that on one of our first dates where we kind of called out, like, hey, I think it was our second date. We called out that our first date was awkward and kind of laughed about him being the awkward one. And he took some accountability of, like, yeah, I was nervous and, you were talking a lot and I thought it was cute and I just kind of let you talk a lot because I was shy
Yes,
and whatever. And breaking that
Ryan was kind
wall,
of this guy. Ryan was the
but
nervous,
Ryan was
shy,
totally this guy,
not
but he was
not fully able to represent
in
his
his late
personality,
30s.
and you still went on another date with him. Like that's not the be
Totally.
all end all.
Totally. I did. And, would I have when I, at different points in life? I don't know. But like that day, that date, that person with me felt good enough to go on another one. And then there was a comfort level established on the second date that was not there on the first date, where we could acknowledge some of the awkwardness and it felt more safe to do so. And it unlocked like a new level of bonding and joking and teasing and honesty that could only come with time and could only come with like laying a little bit of groundwork and like testing here and there and taking some risk here and there. And so I guess my point is just I agree, taking risk, putting yourself out there, doing something that scares you is so meaningful in your relationship to yourself in this life. And resist the temptation to want to like plan every single part of it and know what you're going to say and just see what it feels like in the moment. And if what it feels like in the moment is fucking awkward, then like Caroline said, like, okay, you go home that night and you never have to go back. You don't have to go back. You can do a whole new date with a whole new person next week. You don't have to do that awkward one again. You can see what it's like next week with somebody else. And now you have one under your belt as practice. And so I think it's just that. It's just like an iterative, like just just keep trying and don't make it mean more about you than it needs to. Just take a breather, try again.
Yeah, yeah. Good
Speaking
luck.
of good luck, we love you. I love you.
I love, I love you. Who are you talking to?
No, I'm talking to the listener. I thought he was so sweet. I
Yeah, I
thought
feel very
his
attached to him in
I
this
feel
moment.
very like I want him to I feel motherly about him.
Okay, I feel sister fatherly.
Yeah, sister father. Speaking of doing things that scare
Oh
you, I did something that scares me.
my God, you pooped with the door open.
I did it. No, I would never. There's even
Sometimes I
boundaries to
do.
my fears.
Sometimes I forget where I am, and because
You
sometimes I
forget that
forget where
you
I
live with
am.
Justin.
Yeah, sometimes I forget. Okay, go ahead.
I did something scary, which is that I've been working on some of my new year, new me goals, and I've been very focused on working out because it feels good and eating well because it makes my mood better and like taking better care of myself. And there's this thing at Orange Theory. I go to Orange Theory for my workouts. There's this thing that they're doing over the next couple months called the Transformation Challenge. And it includes, it's basically like whatever, you can just track whether you're gaining muscle or burning fat, whatever your goals are. That's not the point. The point is that if you buy into this challenge, you get 3 body scans that do weight, body fat percentage, muscle percentage, and it just gives you kind of data and information about where you're at, and then you can track over time if
Fascinating.
if you're making improvements.
Terrifying.
Terrifying.
I've never done such a thing.
I have done such a thing
Oh
long
my
ago because I
God.
was a 13-year-old who had a personal trainer and who
I did
had to
not know
step
that.
on the scale and yeah, step on the scale and
Who got you a personal trainer at
step on
13?
the
Was this your
scanner.
idea? Was this your idea?
No, of course it wasn't my
I
idea.
would not think so. How dare they do that to you?
Of course it was a loving person in my life who was doing their best and that's wasn't the best choice, but it did happen that way.
Interesting.
And anyway, I have a lot of trauma about stepping on the scale. I have a lot of trauma about stepping on one of these scanners that like tells you your specific percentage of body fat. This girl's got an
Motherfucker.
ass and titties, okay? And I did it. I decided that I wanted to rip the band-aid. It felt like something that would give me information that could help me with my goals. And more than that, actually, like I didn't even care about what the information and the data was and what kind of the results were. I just wanted to do the thing that scared me more than anything. And so I was leaving this Orange Theory class and I saw a different girl get on the scanner and I realized that she got on it and nobody who worked there was near her. Like, I think part of my trauma and fear is like, I'm going to step on this thing and some stranger who's like fit and works at the
Someone
Orange
else was looking
Theory
at my
is going to look at
stats.
my stats. Like, I don't fucking like that. But I saw her do it and nobody was near her. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, it's not one of those things
I
where
need a
somebody's
perimeter.
documenting this, right? I need space. I need
So it's
space.
just for you. It's just for
So it
you.
was just for me. And so I signed up and I did it. And I like came home and cried tears of like pride for my young self.
No,
it was big.
that sounds intense.
It was
That does
profound.
it does
Yeah.
sound I don't question that at all. It sounds very profound. It sounds very I don't know, earth-shattering, shattering. Earth sh sounds
Shattering,
big. Sounds big.
splattering. Yeah.
Splattering, yeah.
It splattered and shattered. It was big. And
It
it
makes
just
sense to
made
me
me
that you
think of
cried
it.
after that. That's what I think, yeah.
I cried. I cried so much. It was like tears of those tears carried like years of weight, you know?
It sounds like you didn't want that the stats or the machine to like hold power over you anymore.
Yeah.
Like I could understand wanting to be like I'm not interested in ever doing that. I can also understand being like I can do that. It scares me and like I'm not going to be fucking controlled by numbers like I am what I like I yeah, ripping the band-aid off.
Yeah.
Cool, fascinating, terrifying. How did you feel afterwards? Alive? You cried?
Alive. Alive. I cried. I was proud. I went and got a muffin. And that's like a
Yeah.
healing thing with it too, you know, is
Yeah.
that it was like, okay, whatever. Yeah,
Was it
I got some fat
as
on my bones. I'm gonna go eat now, you know?
yeah, once
Yeah.
you did it, was the experience of doing it and the reality of doing it as scary as you feared it would be?
No, not at all. It was like I don't know. I don't know. It something really switched in the moment. I was sure. So basically, like my dietitian had suggested it. She also does Orange Theory. She knew this challenge was happening. She was like, "Oh, you should sign up for that. That would be really motivating." Like, and she knows I do well with kind of like a set challenge that motivates me or whatever. So she was like, "You should sign up for that." And I was like, "Yeah, no, I don't do those scans. Like, terrifying. Won't. Not interested. Thank you so much." And she accepted that. She didn't push me. She was like, okay, like that, I totally understand. If it's not for you, that's fine. But she had put the bug in my ear. And so then I left that conversation like, yeah, fuck that. I'm not doing this. And then literally something switched in my brain when I was physically
Mm.
at Orange Theory, looking at the machine, looking at this other girl on it, realizing that no one was around her, documenting it on a clipboard. And and then she just like walked right off and went on with her life, you know? And something about that and seeing that from a third person view flipped something in my brain. And I decided to do it and kind of like didn't give myself any time to change my mind after that. Like I saw her,
Interesting.
something
Okay.
flipped in my brain, and then I was like,
Yeah.
go there now, beeline now. And I talked to the front desk. I was like, hey, I want to sign up for the challenge. Jumped on the thing. It was
Yeah.
over.
Clear the building and get me up there. Clear
Yeah.
the perimeter.
So it
I
was
mean,
just this weird like
yeah.
light bulb moment that I can't really describe, but something,
Cool.
I guess it made it clear to me that the thing that I feared the most about it was like an outsider's judgment and
Yes, totally.
feeling like
Yeah.
a lab rat that was being documented and weighed and such because of past experiences that have informed that for
Right.
me.
What
And
does
so,
someone else think of this information?
right. But for
Which is
it to
like,
just live with me is like,
uh,
that's fine, whatever.
and
Okay, now
also
I know.
that's complicated enough to just deal with it on your own,
That's
let
true.
alone
Yeah.
having to grapple with your the perception of someone else's judgment or read of something. Like it's too fucking much.
Yeah. And I
Good for
think I
you. That's
have
so
done a
cool.
lot of work on my own relationship to my body and weight and all this stuff. And I feel like I'm at a point where I can handle it. I can handle that
Yeah.
information. I have a good relationship to myself,
You're like
but
these
I
other
still
hoes, they're not
haven't,
going to be able to handle
right. I
it.
still haven't gotten to that level. And who knows if I ever will. And I don't really care. It's not really part of my goals, but like I still haven't gotten to the level of, yeah, somebody else can look at this too. But
Yeah,
that's fine because that wasn't happening and that's not what the situation required. And yeah, I was really proud of myself. So that
that's
was big
awesome.
for me, you know. And the
Yeah.
funny thing about it is like I'm not even gonna do anything with that information. I mean, sure, I'm like technically signed up for this challenge and I'm going to the gym as I always do. And I will find out if there has been any progress on those numbers or not, but um I'm not obsessing and I'm not really like in it for that. I think I just wanted to prove myself
That's
that I could do it.
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your idea that I don't even know what I'm going to do with that. Oh, you already did huge things with that. No, I
Yeah.
really get that. Yeah. When you like if you get like a physical or something, some routine thing and they ask to weigh
Mm.
you, I always
Yeah.
ask them not to tell me the number. It's
Mm.
just not like I'll turn around and it's not helpful information for me. I'll spiral on it. Um
Yeah.
I'm not it's not that I think the number will be good or bad. It's just like it's some and I'll weigh myself at home, but I don't need to do this weird thing with you. I don't need to do this with someone
It's
else.
weird.
It's weird. It's
I
weird.
don't like it.
I don't want to share it with you. I don't want to think about it with you. I don't want to talk with you about it. Like
Right.
I don't want to hold the information at the same time as somebody else. Like I do. I'll weigh myself at home, but I don't want to I don't
That's
know.
so true.
I turn
Holding
that
the
down.
information at the same time as somebody else. Like, why must we both in this moment be looking at this number, aware of this number, deciding if we're going to talk about this number,
It's
fearing
weird.
that we're going to talk about this number? Like, why? Why must that be a shared experience? This is
And it can be very dehumanizing. That's what I
mm,
remember from that was my takeaway basically from eating disorder treatment and even like the ramp up before I was in treatment is just like the concern from pediatricians and the conversation around it from parents. It's like there was this sudden and immense concern for my physical body when there had been basically no concern for me before it. And all of a sudden, it was like the message was kind of like, oh, we got to take care of this body. It never felt like it was taking care of me. It often felt very punitive, actually.
that's
It actually
interesting.
felt like I was in trouble for doing something bad to the body, which I think I hear a lot of parallels in with pregnant women. When I hear
Yeah.
pregnant women talk about the way that they are kind of like separated out from the body and the belly and the baby. We got to take care of the baby. We got to
Hmm.
look out for this belly. And it's like you are suddenly made into just like a vessel that carries this thing that matters, which is the baby, or a vessel that carries this thing that matters, which is the pregnancy, or a vessel that carries this thing that matters, which is the body, but you've starved the body and that's really bad of you, or
Yeah.
you've overindulged the body and that's really bad of you. And that was basically my very much my experience with weight related stuff was like I Caroline was in trouble for the ways I was being so bad to this body, and there
Mm.
was no concern like for the person. It was always really concern for the body, or like how what are we doing to the body,
Yeah.
but very punitive to the like soul that oversaw the body.
It's
It was
dissociative.
really weird. It was very dissociative, and it was very um it kind of just reinforced that people didn't care about me. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was very
Which is
strange.
the reason you were in that situation in the first place, in a
Totally.
way.
I
Like
wasn't in that
your own
position because
mental.
like I was
Yeah.
secure and had like a good system going on around me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do feel like those rituals that have become so normalized of like stepping on the scale at the doctor, stepping on the scale with your trainer, stepping on the scale, whatever. And there's tons of others. The pregnancy
Yeah.
example is such a good one. Like they do they do reinforce this idea that there's the body and there's you. Like, oh, we're all supposed to be outside of this body and look at
Yeah.
this number
And
together.
you're in trouble for like not taking care of the body in the right way.
Right. But it's
You're
like, I can't be
bad.
an unbiased viewer of this number because this number is me, but you're telling me to look at it from outside of me. But I can't. It's me. Yeah, it is a really fucked. Ugh, it's so fucked.
It's
I
strange.
hate stepping on the scale at the doctor, and usually I will say, like, do we have to? Basically, I'll be like,
Yeah.
can I give you the number? I know approximately what the number is. Do you like actually need the exact number right at this moment, or can I just tell you a number? And
Interesting.
usually they
Yeah,
let
I've
me
never
tell
thought of
them a
that.
number. They're like,
Oh, I've never tried that.
if you know your weight, which like, do I? You know, I have an approximate number. It's actually based on the scan I did this week. I knew my number. I was pretty
So
much
just by
right
stepping
there.
on a scale, they give you your muscle, fat, whatever breakdown.
Yeah, you hold on to these like handles. It's this
Interesting.
scale that also has these handles, and I think it has, I don't know, it does some sort of full body scan where between your, I guess between the hand and kind of what it's reading from your heart rate and your skin and I don't know, and then your weight and whatever, it has some sort of algorithm that figures out
Kooky.
those percentages, which was crazy. And then the other thing that I was like, okay, small win, is that it did tell me that I have higher muscle percentage for my size. Like I
Ooh,
have
ooh,
above
ooh.
average muscle for people of my size. And I was like,
Yeah, you worked for
yeah, girl,
that.
I fucking lift. So
Yes, you
yeah,
worked for that. You earned that.
I earned that. Yeah. And the other part I earned too by living my life. So
And having
it's all
delicious
good.
breasts.
Having delicious breasts. Oh, the other thing it does
Delicious.
is that it
It says
tells
your breasts are
you,
delicious.
it does. It gives you compliments the whole time. No, it tells you like your limbs, the weight of your arms, the weight of your legs, the weight of your torso. It like splits it, which was interesting.
What?
Yeah. So it will tell
How
you.
does
So
it
I
know the weight of your arms just by you
basically
stepping on the scale? I don't
could
understand.
calculate the weight of my boobs, which is like a good, good information to have.
That is good.
That's what I was in it for. If they had told me, if they had pitched it
How much
as,
do my
oh,
boobs
this
weigh?
machine will tell you how much your boobs weigh, I would have done it so long ago. I would be
You would
doing
have
this
done it.
all the time.
You would have done it so long ago, and you would have gathered a crowd around you. You would have been
Yes,
like, "Line
everybody
up for
come
this one,
watch.
boys!
Not afraid of your eyes now. Behold, behold
Behold,
this
you should be
large
so
number.
lucky." Yeah,
Yes.
bear witness.
Bear witness. Have you done
Oh,
anything that has scared you
and that's
recently?
exactly what I was trying to think of.
Yeah.
Has I done anything that has scared me recently?
Has I?
Has I done anything that has scared me recently? I'm thinking about it. I think I could use doing something really scary. I think I
Mm,
haven't done something significantly scary in a little bit. I also think that I consistently do medium scary things.
Yeah.
I think that is like kind of how I operate, if I'm being honest. But sometimes I do like a bigger leap scary, and I haven't done that in a while.
Yeah.
But I think like I'm oh, I don't know. Immediately I thought of like today I started this like construction building related project with my brother that I absolutely don't know how to do. I don't know how we're gonna do it, and I just start doing it anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, that's like a sort of like every month kind of scary, but it's also not that unique to me. Like that's kind of what I've built my whole career on is doing things I don't know how to do.
Yeah.
Um
But that's so interesting because I do think that's the theme that's coming out of this conversation. For the listener who
mhm.
wanted dating advice, for me, when I realized I'm going to not look back, not think about it, step on this scanner right now, and for you saying, I'm doing this build even though I've never done it before and I don't know how to do
No,
it. I
no,
just
how?
started. It's literally like you just have to rip the band-aid. You just have to start somewhere, you
Do
know?
it
I think
scared.
that's do it scared, born
Do it scared.
scared.
Stop waiting for the confidence. People
Yeah.
who do cool things aren't just doing them confidently. You
Yeah.
can be terrified and shit your pants and do the thing. And that has such a better reward. Because if you
Mhm.
have no fear in the thing, there's no sense of reward. It's like, I'm not scared of walking upstairs. So when I do it, there's no big payoff. It's no sense of accomplishment. But after I tore my meniscus and I had a surgery and I hadn't walked with crutches, walking upstairs was a big fucking deal. It was fucking terrifying. It felt physically scary. It felt existentially scary. Like, if this doesn't work, if I can't do this, will I ever work out again? Will I ever blah, blah, blah? Is my future changed? And then walking upstairs is a big fucking deal. So it's not
Yeah.
even about the thing you try to do. It's about doing it even though it scares you. That is
Mhm.
what makes it matter. That's what gives it meaning at all. You really
Totally.
got to pursue the fear.
I totally agree. And like kind of what I was saying before, I think part of that is to stop trying to plan and predict and like overthink it ahead of time and just do it. Like I even think
Mhm.
about we've referenced this a bunch of times, but starting the podcast, planning and planning and planning for a couple months beforehand and then just realizing like the only way to do this and get better at it and like see what it even is to just do it and do it again and do it again. And we're obviously like we feel like we're in a much different place than we were at the beginning, and that's not from planning, it's just from starting. And I think that's true of everything I've ever done that scared me and therefore that was rewarding to me, is like moving out of the planning phase, especially as a type A person who works in like project management and marketing and just does spreadsheets and plans all day. It's like I could live there forever and I'll never actually do the thing if I live there forever. And I don't really get a lot of payoff there because I'm just going in circles in my own head as opposed to putting it into practice and just doing it and
Yeah.
trying a bunch of times. So I really think that's I remind myself of that all the time when I want to start something new, when I'm like thinking about doing something that I'm scared of, when I feel unfulfilled. There's a check of like, okay, well, the fulfilling things are the scary things. And is there anything
Mhm.
you've been thinking
And the
about
things
lately that
with
you
risk.
haven't been doing? And just
Yeah.
start.
I was talking to my friend about this recently who's putting out a new podcast, and
Mm,
she got completely paralyzed, had like a month, multi-months long paralyzing, I don't know, panic basically.
mm,
Like, it's not right, and this isn't perfect, and that isn't. And I was like, you have to put it out. You have to
yeah.
just start doing it. And guess what? Your first episode will be your worst episode. I'm pissed that our first episode is even out there. I don't even want people to
Hmm.
listen to it.
That
Don't go
it's the
listen to
most
it.
listened to. Why are you all
Also,
going back?
also, also, we've never even said our first episode. Actually, the first one never aired. We
Oh
recorded
yeah.
it, and I freaked out so hard, I made us delete it and record a new one, and it still sucked. So,
Yeah.
like, it just you just have to start putting it out there. Like I actually was kind of thinking about the difference with you and me the other day, where we're both like executives, but I'm not type A.
Hmm.
I'm messy, no planning. I do not want to plan. I do not want to prep. I do not want to schedule. I just do things. And there's a huge benefit to that. I get massive shit done. I've created a fucking huge platform, if I do say so myself, and I'm nonstop producing and I've gotten results for it. And there's a lot that I'm missing. I do
Mm.
not have the executive functioning that Jess has. Like, I do not do the planning. I do not have the foresight. I'm not organized in that way and scheduling. And you have the type A version, and you've been able to build a fucking empire that way. And there's just a lot of different ways that you can build something, but ultimately you got to do something.
Hmm.
And you can do it scared. That's fine.
Do
Don't
it
wait till you
scared.
feel like it. Do it
Born
scared.
scared. Yeah, I concur. I concur. I mean, I think there's a lot of like I think about that too between the two of us, and I think the combination that we have works really, really
It's
well.
beautiful.
It's a beautiful thing
I think
because,
it's beautiful.
both sides of that spectrum have like gaps. Like you can't have
Yeah, we
all of
complete each
those
other, Jessica.
skills.
If I was just
Um,
working with myself, I would be mad a lot of the time.
Mad like crazy or mad like angry or both.
Oh, angry.
Okay.
Furious. Yeah.
But then when I'm at my corporate job during the day, and that's really the thing that has ingrained in me this like type A planner attitude, I feel mad. I do feel mad. Like I miss some of what you have and what you bring to our partnership of like, can we just start fucking doing something? Like, can we just be creative and have a bold idea for once and just do it? Like, why do we have to think about it so much? But then there is a benefit to the other side as well. So anyway, yeah.
100%. 100%. Yeah. I think we just complete each other sexually and romantically.
Mostly sexually for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I wanted to bring it back to you keeping the door open with the toilet or something with when you were on the toilet and I couldn't do it.
It's just that sometimes I like forget that Justin's upstairs. And like when I'm home, I'll say this when I'm home at my parents', if I have to like go pee, I don't really close the door. It's like you can't if you walk by, you can't see me, but I don't lock it. I keep it like two
Yeah.
inches open. When
Yeah.
I'm downstairs and we're all watching TV, it's like I don't care. It's something about locking it and closing it feels annoying. So it's
It
like
feels extreme. It's like, who's
it
going to
feels
even walk in
extreme.
here? Like
I
they
want to hear
saw
them
me
a
get up
little of
off
it.
of the couch and walk to the bathroom. They know I'm in here. It's
You know
fine.
I'm peeing,
Yeah.
and it's like
Pretty
there's
loud.
like
I have a loud
the door's
stream.
open like 2 inches. Also, if you pee at the frequency that I have to pee, you don't have time to lock every door you're peeing behind. You don't have time.
Yeah.
And then I've started to relax at home here living with
Interesting.
Justin, and sometimes I forget where I am. Let me tell you this.
It is one of the things I miss most about living alone is just
Shitting with the door open.
complete all doors open. I can see the TV in the living room from the
Yeah.
bathroom with the open door, and I'm just having a grand old time,
Hooting and
you know?
hollering from the toilet. Do
That
your
is what
horn
it
noise.
was.
Do your horn
That
noise.
was the sound that my neighbors heard all day long when I lived alone.
Do the horn noise that you can do though.
Oh shit, why can't I remember it? It goes, wait, why am I blanking on the fucking noise? Oh. It's good, right?
I can't get over how good it is. Yeah, it's
Thank
really good.
you.
You're good at that noise.
I used to beatbox.
What do you mean? We
I
were
was in an
about
a
to
cappella
sign
group.
off.
Yeah, but it
You
was
beatbox in
relevant
your
to
hockey,
my
but
noise.
no,
Yeah,
I did
there's
not
videos
know
of it on
that.
the internet. People could go find them if they wanted. I'm not going to give further detail on how to find the videos, but
Well, you're
you know my
gonna have to do
name,
it
you know
now
my
because
college.
otherwise you're being
No,
like your
I haven't
friend.
done it in like 10
No,
years.
you're being like your friend Ange, who's like, I have a pop and lock routine, but
I
like I
said I
haven't done it recently.
used to beatbox. I didn't say I do it now.
You
I
said,
never
yeah, I
said
guess
that.
if you came to me and said, I have a beatbox routine that I'm not going to show you, then I'd
No.
be mad.
No, I don't have a
Okay.
beatbox routine that
You
I
used to
no.
beatbox, but you haven't kept up your skills.
No, I haven't. I've translated it to the horn thing. That's my party trick.
a horn.
That's the reason I can do that is because of years of mediocre beatboxing in an all-female a cappella group.
I'm gonna
That's
tell
all
you
I
what,
wanted to
I
say.
would not have guessed that you'd be good at beatboxing, but based on that horn, I feel like you are good.
I was okay. I wasn't the strongest in the group, but I wasn't the worst either. Like I was a solid beatboxer
Middle of
for
the road
the easier
beatboxer.
songs. Yeah, for the songs that just needed like a light drum line,
Okay.
I could hold it down. Yeah. Fun
All right.
fact.
You heard
Guess
it
that's all.
here first
Yeah.
from middle of the road box Jess.
Middle of the road box. That's me. Till next time, Kookalicious.
Good luck.